Okay, I've got an excellent story for you, but before I tell you the story, I'm going to show you my business casual wear for work. Business, woo! Collar top. Casual, Peruvian hippie pants, woo! Okay, on to the story. So, the first time I ever had Island Fire. First time I had Island Fire, I was not into it at all. I thought it tasted like a train wreck of flavors. No good, no thank you. But going to enough potlucks, I had tried it numerous times, and the flavor really didn't get any better, and I didn't really notice any feeling, so I didn't feel like it was for me, neither here nor there. So I went to a business meeting for Bliss Cafe, and during the course of the business meeting, guess who shows up? Island Fire shows up. Now it's like whoop, and I'm like whoop, whoop, whoop. So over the course of these few hours, I probably drank maybe like 4 shots of this stuff. On the ride back, because I was in Dallas and I was riding back to Plano, maybe like a 20-minute ride. Traffic's going slow. It's kind of like gray outside, and all of a sudden I'm like, man, I'm feeling good, like good, like something is different, something is awesome, and like my hearing is different, like I'm feeling high, like I have heightened sense of awareness, like I'm hearing the traffic on the other side of the highway, and it sounds way different. It sounds totally unlike any way I've experienced traffic sounding before. And I turned to the person that I was with that, we'd been quiet in the car for like 10, 15 minutes now, and she's kind of like, I think I'm feeling high. And I'm like, I think I'm feeling high. This is awesome. So at that point, I'm like sold. I was like, you know what? I'm sold. I'm all about, Island Fire or whatever. Buy some, distribute it, whatever. Try to see if that effect is attainable again. So I've been taking the goods daily. Now I take I have a shot glass that I got from the cafe. It's maybe like 2 ounces or whatever. So I'll take a shot, and it's good and it does stuff, but it hasn't done that. At least not that extreme. Not that like wow I am high. Okay. There's nothing better than feeling amazing from raw goodness. Okay, so, or why else do it? What's the point, right? It's like food is food, right? But if you feel good and build health, sold. So I'm on the noni, I'm on the juice. So I'm on the juice and I'm on this thing daily or whatever, and I'm feeling however I feel. And then it comes to today. So I run up to the cafe. We're not open yet, so I'm like throwing things around, putting mantras on, jamming out, listening, to mantras, chanting, making food for my love, for my community, and go to the community raw food feast with my platter of food. It's like, here you go, that's the food. And we're holding hands. We all talk, introduce yourself, tell what you brought. And this guy excuse me, brought a container of trail mix, and he was like, "Hey, this trail mix is called Go Take a Hike." So, 15 minutes later, I go sit down and I'm not really thinking too much, just about to eat some awesome raw food or whatever. And this guy, this really sweet, awesome, gentle guy, turns to me and he says, "Hey, did he say the name of this trail mix is Go Fuck Yourself?" I laughed. It was like the funniest thing I've ever. It was like I'd never heard a joke, and that was the first joke ever, and it was the funniest thing I've ever heard. Okay, so okay, so I probably took it there. Okay, so one of these bottles was sitting out, and I was like, "Free, no need, don't mind if I do." So I took a shot, and that was that. And then they had passed out some more shots and did like a ceremony for the equinox. So I probably had maybe 2 or 3 shots at that point, and then after everybody left, the place it was at a place of business. It was at a Dr. Jasmine's office, and so everybody left, and it was me, Brian, Jessica, and Heather, my sister. And we're sitting around, and there was, bam, Noni Island fire. So, hmm. So we're like, hey, look, it looks like a free bottle. It must be for us. So, but it was just like a little bit left, and we were like doing shots or whatever. So at that point, over the accumulate like hour, hour and a half, or 2 hours or whatever, I probably had maybe like 4 shots. I mean, it doesn't sound that ridiculous to me or whatever, but 4 shots. Okay, more than I usually do anyway, but it still doesn't sound too bad intellectually speaking, rationally speaking. So, okay, so I take this noni and we're telling jokes and I'm having a good time and I feel pretty good. Me and my sister, we get dropped off at the train station. It's about 11 o'clock at night. We get on the train. Everybody's quiet because that's how the train is. People keep to themselves, read, fall asleep, whatever. And this guy busts out of nowhere. He's like, well, we're not going anywhere. We're not talking about anything, so might as well talk about Jesus, And it's like, whoa, it's like everybody's like crackheads go running. I mean, there's not a lot of crackheads in Dallas, but there were some. There happened to be the second Jesus conversation wants to come up, like out of the woodwork. There happens to be like crackheads or whatever. So he's like these girls are like running for it, like they don't want to be in the stream of this conversation. And I'm feeling good. Like I'm like, yeah, let's talk about love. So the guy's like saying all this stuff, and I was like, hey, is this a dialogue or is this like a two-way thing? Is this you talking or is this us talking? And he swears this is a conversation. So he starts talking, and he's like blah, God, angry, death, right? And I was like, whoa, like we can do this, but let's talk about God in happy form. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about the love of God, right? This is what I'm saying, and I think I'm getting loud because like people are kind of looking at me crazy too, like whoa, you're talking and you're talking loud. So that's how the conversation goes. The conversation goes where this guy's like saying whatever he's saying, and I'm like, no, let's talk about love. And he's not into it. Like he's like, whoa, we're not talking about love. We're talking about God, and we're talking about the Bible, but love, no way. So, which is cool. Like I'm pro Jesus, so whatever, neither here nor there. So, but I'm also pro love. Yeah. So as the conversation escalates and he's getting louder and I'm getting louder and people are getting, more dipping in their seat and it's getting quieter. Like people who knows how they feel about the conversation, but it feels like I'm sitting in a library, like almost on eggshells. Like people are not necessarily participating as fully as I am, and I'm definitely participating, and I'm feeling freaking awesome. Okay, so I feel like I'm the only one here that's really enthusiastic about love and beauty, so I start trumpeting about love, and the guy says, Who's here has sinned?" And I was like, "Love!" And this is what I'm doing. I'm seriously yelling the word. I'm screaming the word love out on a full train of people. And there are some people on there that they look like they don't ride the train very much. They got them dollars, some white folks, and I ride the train every day. They're whatever. So So the guy says, "Who here?" And he's yelling. I mean, he's like combating me, but I'm not sure what I'm even doing because I was just having a good time, and he was kind of passionate. And he was like, "Who here is a sinner?" And I was like, "Who here is a lover?" And I totally meant it. Like I felt so good. I was like, "Lover, man." I don't know. I took it a bit too far. And I would like to thank Dallas Raw Food Community for bringing bringing my enthusiasm up, and I would like to thank yeah, there we go. I'd like to thank Mr. Noni, Mr. Noni. Thanks for getting me high.